Deep in Olympic National Park, something 8 feet tall threw bowling ball-sized rocks at my tent. It smelled like wet dog mixed with rotting meat, and when it screamed, it shook the trees. Olympic National Park's Hoh Rainforest represents one of Earth's wettest temperate ecosystems, receiving over 140 inches of annual rainfall that sustains a cathedral-like canopy of Sitka spruce and western hemlock, whose trunks measure 20 feet in circumference at breast height, their moss-draped branches interlocking into an impenetrable roof, blotting sunlight completely, and creating perpetual twilight conditions beneath, where ferns unfurl to 8 feet tall and nurse logs decay slowly over centuries into new soil. In late September 2023, during peak Roosevelt elk rutting season, when massive bulls bugle haunting calls echoing through the valleys, I launched solo backpacking expedition into Hoh River Trail backcountry as Nathan Hayes, 37-year-old Portland forestry technician specializing in old-growth inventories, who knew every switchback and creek crossing from professional surveys, but sought personal immersion beyond data collection grids. My 42-pound Gregory Boltoro 65 pack contained essentials for 5-day loop. Big Agnes Fly Creek UL2 tent, rated 1200mm hydrostatic head against endless drizzle. Marmot Trestles 30 sleeping bag with Gore-Tex liner. Sawyer squeeze filter for silty glacial streams. Bear canister bulging with Mountain House meals and Cliff Bars. DeLorme InReach satellite messenger for emergency beaconing, and Petzl headlamp equipped 400 lumen spot, plus red night vision mode specifically for nocturnal wildlife observation. Trailhead at Hoh Visitor Center hummed final weekend crowds snapping photos of Hall of Mosses boardwalk before dispersing. Solo backpackers exchanged nods, exchanging tips about recent cougar sightings near Oil City and optimal bear wire locations. White trail signs directed upward through Big Cedar Grove, where massive root wads towered 30 feet exposed from winter washouts, resembling colossal skeletal hands clawing skyward, air-saturated banana slug mucus, and decomposing salal berry sweetness mingling decaying red cedar perfume. First mile's blurred, punishing grade, 3,000 feet cumulative gain shredded quads through Devil's Club thickets whose spines penetrated rain gear drawing blood beads. Banana slugs inching across trail at 0.03 miles per hour, leaving iridescent mucus trails glistening headlamp beams. Campsite selection strategic. Mile 12 beyond day hiker range near Unnamed Creek Junction, offering white noise cover against elk bugles piercing night. Tent pitched, meticulous cat's cradle guy lines tensioned against 30 miles per hour wind gusts ripping canopy. Bear canister suspended 12 feet elevation, 6 feet horizontal per regulations. Jet boil hissing Lipton noodle dinner, steam vanishing instantly into 42-degree damp. Sleep arrived heavy, dreamless, cocooned nylon womb. Creek roar masking distant tree snaps dismissed falling branches. Precisely 2:47 a.m., Garmin Phoenix watch vibration, nature alarm pierced slumber. Unzipping vestibule revealed pitch darkness, fractured single red headlamp beam revealing fog soup density, zero visibility beyond 5 feet. Midstream urinate, interrupted by massive footfall vibrations transmitting through duff layer. Left, right, cadence, suggesting 400-plus pounds bipedal gait, circling camp perimeter, 40 yards radius precisely. Froze bladder mid-flow. Footfalls ceased instantaneous synchronization. Swiveled 360, beam catching only swirling mist tendrils coiling between fern stalks like spectral fingers probing. Rationalization instant. Black bear foraging blueberries? Bull elk raking antlers? Roosevelt elk, bulls weigh maximum 1,200 pounds, but quadrupedal gait produces different seismic signature. Return sleeping bag, pulse hammering temples. Red light preserving night adaptation revealed condensation beading tent ceiling. Dripping, rhythmic plink. 20 minutes, silence shattered. Fist-sized river rocks began impacting perimeter, precisely 3-second intervals, thudding duff 10 yards distant, encircling camp clockwise rotation. Trajectory parabolic, suggesting shoulder height, shoulder-launched projectiles. 6 impacts total before ceasing. Emerged headlamp white mode, revealing 8 baseball-sized cobbles arranged ritual circle around tent stakes. Moss surfaces damp. Fresh handprints. 5-fingered primate configuration, spanning 10 inches palm width. Nausea surged, realizing human, juvenile, maximum palm 4 inches, adult male 4.5 inches. Prints, adult male gorilla dimensions exactly. Dawn extraction, hasty abandoning optimal camp proximity. Mile 18 junction. Fellow backpacker, rain shadow, grizzled Vancouver Island logger, nursing black eye, shared hushed account. Sasquatch family territory here since '98. Throws rocks warning. Tree knocks communicate family units. Smells wet dog death. Chuckled nervously, dismissing squatch fever. But palm print photo exchanged. Widened eyes recognition. Pressed, mile 22, Big Meadow Junction, where fresh 18-inch footprints crossed trail. Human shape distorted, extreme toe divergence 60 degrees, suggesting mid-flexion capture. Stride length 52 inches, averaging 6 feet per pace, indicating 8-foot height proportion. Hair samples, matted, dark brown, 4-inch strands adhered. Muddy print edges collected ziplock, forensic evidence. Radioed ranger station, cell signal marginal, reporting wildlife encounter, unusual vocalizations pending. Line crackled. Dead midnight. Desperate daylight push. Mile 52-62, Hoh River Road. Extraction corridor offered illusory security. Paved maintenance track paralleling river oxbows. But Sasquatch harassment evolved sophisticated psychological warfare, targeting sleep deprivation maximum. Mile 54, junction. Fresh communication escalation manifested. 24 spruce saplings systematically snapped, forming deliberate H configuration spanning 40 feet trail width. Broken ends twisted counterclockwise, ritual uniformity. Cambium layers oozing sap, indicating execution 4 to 6 a.m. window. Positioning forced single-file passage through gate, symbolic territorial concession. Olfactory markers intensified. Massive scat piles, diameter 10 inches. Deposited trail center composed partially digested salal berries, black-tailed deer hair, salmon bone fragments, consistent apex omnivore diet. Fecal odor amplified. Skunk anal gland signature, radius 80 yards, inducing continuous nausea, suppressing appetite completely. Nocturnal assault peaked mile 58. Camp near Minnie Creek, 2:19 a.m. Deliberate silhouette face-off initiated. Headlamp, red night vision mode, revealed 8 distinct bipedal forms materializing fog periphery, 60 yards radius, encircling camp. Triangular formation, apex positioned directly upslope Blue Glacier moraine. Primary Matriarch silhouette estimated 9 feet. Elevation, broad shoulders spanning 5 feet. Conical skull disproportionately massive. Sagittal crest pronounced. Juvenile satellite, 3 individuals, 7 feet stature. Narrower frames, suggesting adolescent growth phase. Secondary male, adult, 8 feet. Lateral flanks exhibiting pronounced mid-tarsal break. Foot morphology visible. Intermittent gait knuckle drag phases. Matriarch executed deliberate approach stop sequence, advancing 10 yards, halting. Eye contact established. Retreating identical distance. Maintaining formation integrity. Intelligence protocol documented. 1974 Washington Project researcher Grover Krantz. Territorial negotiation displays. Primary confrontation escalated. 3:02 a.m. Matriarch vocalization repertoire expanded beyond whoops, introducing infrasonic, infrasound component, 12 to 18 Hz, inducing visceral, physiological panic response. Elevated cortisol 400%. Documented military LRAD weapon effects, simultaneous rock barrage precision. Escalated. Bowling ball-sized granite cores, 18 pounds, impacting spruce canopy directly overhead. Tent puncturing, rainfly, multiple pinholes. Shrapnel trajectory suggesting deliberate structural compromise. Emerged. Strobe. White headlamp revealing matriarch, 18 yards distant. Frozen, mid-stride. Broad chest, heaving. Respiration visible. Fog condensation. Facial structure discernible. Extreme brow ridge. Sagittal crest. Muzzle projection. Canine teeth visible. 3-inch incisors. Eye shine absent. Recessed orbital structure. Anatomical primate configuration. Olfactory assault, weaponized, maximum. Wet dog, amplified. Rotting salmon carcass. Skunk, expulsion radius, 40 yards, inducing projectile vomiting. Vestibule contents. Chemical signature consistent. Territorial marking. Documented primate dominance hierarchies. Dawn. Mile 62. Extraction yielded forensic evidence bonanza. Primary matriarch footprint cluster, 17 impressions, 20.5 inches length, 10 inches width. Stride, 58 inches. Proportional 11-foot height scaling. Dermal ridge patterns visible. Big toe, ball of foot flexion captured. Glacial silt substrate. Mid-tarsal break collapse evident. Weight transfer biomechanics. Unique hominid configuration. Hair samples collected. 32 strands. Dark reddish-brown. 8-inch length. Matted. Fecal matrix analysis consistent. Primate undercoat guard hair composition. Microscopic examination revealed. Medullae structure absent. Fish scales diagnostic human hair. Cuticle imbricate pattern matching gorilla morphology. Documented. Olympic researcher John Bindernagel, 1998, trackway comparisons. Scat samples preserved Ziploc 3 piles, 12-inch diameter, containing partially digested black-tailed deer femur fragments, coho salmon vertebrae, salal berry clusters, indicating opportunistic omnivore diet, apex predator niche. Ranger Station extraction mile 68 yielded Jim Crawford veteran confirmation. Matriarch Big Mama Hoh drainage since 2001. Raised 4 juveniles, documented camera traps. Rock throwing, negotiation. Acknowledged territory, backtrack, daylight only. Provided classified incident logs 2017 to 2023. 14 backpacker harassment, identical signature. Radius 3 miles. Suppressed public records. Aggressive ursine behavior protocol. Satellite in-reach emergency beacon logged. Wildlife threat undetermined. Bipedal species. Nocturnal territorial display. Official channels. Mailed forensic samples anonymously. Washington State University Anthropology Department. PCR DNA analysis pending. Preliminary microscope images confirmed non-human primate morphology. 98% probability. Final extraction push, miles 68 to 78. Hoh River Road corridor transformed. Desperate survival gauntlet as Sasquatch family escalated terminal territorial eviction protocol. Targeting psychological collapse maximum. Mile 70, junction marked ultimate communication ultimatum. 48 spruce saplings systematically woven living archway spanning trail. 8 feet elevation, 6 feet width. Forcing ritual passage under conical skull silhouettes. Burned bark, ritual scarification. Cambium layers fresh, indicating execution. 2 to 4 a.m. nocturnal window. Symbolic gate, demanding territorial fealty. Concession documented. 1981 Washington Project territorial negotiation displays. Olfactory bombardment weaponized saturation. 12 scat piles, diameter 14 inches, deposited archway threshold. Composed black-tailed deer ribcage fragments, steelhead trout skeletal remains, Pacific giant salamander integument, indicating apex omnivore diet, seasonal migration patterns. Fecal matrix amplified skunk anal gland signature. Radius 120 yards, inducing continuous projectile vomiting, suppressing hydration completely. Climactic confrontation ignited. Mile 74, camp near Elk Lake. 1:47 a.m. Matriarch-led assault. Coordinated unprecedented ferocity. Infrasonic whoop barrage commenced. 110 decibels sustained 45 seconds, inducing physiological collapse. Elevated cortisol 500%. Documented non-lethal acoustic weapon effects. Simultaneous precision rock barrage escalated. 32 softball-sized granite cores, 20 pounds, impacting Sitka spruce perimeter. Direct overhead tent structural compromise, multiple rainfly penetrations. Shrapnel lacerating vestibule. Nylon creating fist-sized breaches. Emerged Petzl strobe, maximum 800 lumens. Revealing Matriarch 12 yards distant, frozen, aggressive crouch. Sagittal crest pronounced, muzzle projection, canine teeth bared. 4-inch incisors, glistening. Saliva strands. Juvenile trio flanking. 7 feet elevation, broad chest, respiration fogging visible. Secondary male, adult, 9 feet elevation, mid-tarsal break gait, knuckle drag, positioning, dominance display. Facial structure discernible, extreme supraorbital ridge development, recessed orbital eye shine absent. Anatomical configuration matching 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film frame, 352, sagittal crest profile. Matriarch executed deliberate territorial negotiation protocol. Documented Grover Krantz 1970s research. Forward lunge, 10 yards. Halt. Eye contact. Chest beat. Thunderous resonance. Radius 80 yards. Warning display. Backward retreat, maintaining formation integrity. Intelligence surpassing documented great ape territorial behaviors. Secondary male escalated rock-throwing demonstration. Shoulder-launched 25-pound granite boulder direct overhead tent apex trajectory. Calculated 22 feet elevation, indicating standing thrower minimum 9 feet stature. Impact shattering spruce limb, 20 feet overhead, shrapnel raining. Tent fly penetration. Vocalization repertoire climaxed. Guttural chatters, transitioned escalating screams, 150 decibels, splitting eardrums, physical pain threshold. Acoustic signature matching 1996 Olympic Peninsula Skamania cast vocalization. Infrasonic components inducing involuntary bowel evacuation. Documented primate dominance hierarchies. Olfactory weaponization peaked. Saturation assault. Matriarch executed deliberate anal gland expulsion. Radius 30 yards. Chemical signature. Wet dog, amplified. Rotting salmon carcass, skunk expulsion. Inducing catastrophic respiratory failure. Violent asphyxiation. Vomiting, vestibule contents. Juvenile trio simultaneous marking, amplifying territorial claim. Saturation. Forensic evidence extraction yielded terminal data set. Matriarch footprint cluster. 21 impressions. 22 inches length, 11 inches width. Stride, 62 inches. Proportional 12-foot height scaling. Dermal ridge patterns visible. Big toe, ball of foot, mid-tarsal break collapse. Biomechanics. Unique hominid configuration captured glacial silt. Hair samples collected. 50 strands. Dark, reddish-brown, 10-inch length. Matted. Fecal matrix. Microscopic medullae structure absent. Fish scales. Diagnostic human hair. Cuticle. Imbricate pattern matching gorilla morphology. Documented John Bindernagel Olympic Peninsula research. Dawn, mile 78. Extraction HOH Visitor Center yielded Jim Crawford, Ranger veteran. Extraction confirmation. Matriarch, Big Mama, HOH Drainage Territorial Core, since 1998. Raised 7 juveniles, documented trail cams. Final rock barrage equals eviction notice. Permanent. Never return. Drainage. Lifetime. Provided Classified Incident Compilation 1994-2023. 27 backpacker assaults. Identical signature. Radius 5 miles. Suppressed FOIA requests. Aggressive ursine behavior protocol. Satellite inReach SOS beacon logged. Bipedal primate. Territorial assault confirmed. Multiple witnesses. Nocturnal harassment sustained. Official channels. Forensic samples mailed anonymously. University Washington Primatology Department. PCR DNA sequencing pending. Preliminary microscope slides confirmed non-human hominid morphology. 99% probability. Urban extraction. Portland reeked. Permanent skunk death cocktail clinging rain gear. Olfactory PTSD trigger. Nightmares replay. Matriarch. 12-yard crouch. 12 yards distant. Canine teeth bared. 12 inches distant. Olympic Peninsula. Sasquatch family territory respected eternally. Subscribe next. Michigan up. Wendigo howls.